Now, sometimes we're going to need to access the panel's debug menu in order to troubleshoot, maybe update firmware or factory reset it. In order to access the debug menu, what we need to do is we need to take the remote control and we're going to press the input button, which is the source button, followed by 9, 9, and then 1. Now, something to keep in mind about the remote is that it is an IR remote and the receiver is actually over here on the right. So we have to make sure that we're pointing the remote to the right side of the panel, not the left side of the panel. Now, when you press this also, it might take a few times. So if you don't get it the first time, just try it again. So we're going to press source, 9, 9, 1, and you're gonna see here it opened up the debug menu on the left. Now my input menu is also open. The way I can get out of that is just on the remote. If I press the back button, I can press the back button and now that's gone. Now the debug menu, you'll see here, I can use the remote to navigate it up and down. However, it is also touch, so you can touch and interact with it. For example, this option up here called Init TV is initialize TV or factory reset. So if I were to select that, it would let me reset the panel from the menu. I also have the upgrade option. So if I have firmware on a flash drive, I can plug that firmware into the front, and then I can come here to the debug menu, and then I can upgrade it manually. However, one thing you'll notice is if I come down, you'll see that there's some additional options like system settings. So if I choose system settings here, you'll notice, for example, I can enable or disable the Android side, or I can enable or disable touch. But one thing that's interesting about ViewSonic panels is that if I have a laptop, and let's say I connect that laptop with the USB-C cable, it will actually pass the internet from the panel to the device that's connected with USB-C. So let's run a scenario where my device is on network A, but the panel is on network B. By plugging it into USB-C, my laptop would actually switch to network B. This is what we call network share. So if you look here in the menu, custom network share is set to open. So this is the default behavior for the panel. If you don't want the panel to pass the internet to the device, what you can do is come down to where it says custom network share, and you can switch that to off. Now when you plug in with USB-C, the laptop will keep its network and the panel will keep its network. Now this is something we only recommend that IT or admins access, just because there are some settings in here that can mess up the panel. So please use this only when necessary, but this is a nice way to be able to get in and change some different settings on the panel if you need to with the remote.